guys on the HDL 50 covers how easy it is to access the grill or the back. So you basically just unzip both sides. And then you can just lay it all the way on the back. And you have access to the front. So we'll flap that back over. And we'll do the same on the back. Have zippers on both sides. And this will give you full access to the back. So we have the rain covers off on these to where you have full access on the back, and we're about to go over that. So the rigging on the HDL 50s is very easy to use. You have a locking side and you have a suspension side. So the suspension side, you can go ahead and lay whatever angle you want it to be. So on this one, let's say we chose to do a 10-degree angle. You go ahead and put it on there. And then once you've raised up the array, you match the 10 angle. So this would end up going into here, which right now it won't go because it's not raised up. But as you raise these speakers, they end up going up and matching whatever angle you have this set on. And you put in the locking side just to make it to where for any reason you had a very, very sharp curve on your array that there's no way for it to go back up. So it's built pretty well. On these, you've got a power con in, you've got a power con out, and you can link 4 of these cabinets together. We ran them at pretty high volumes, not had any problems at all. So we've got these labeled, we've got a bottom, we've got a top, we've got a mid on each one of the line array elements. That way it's easy for us to get to. And on the back, you can see that you have RDNet controls, you have RDNet input and output. Whenever you are using RDNet, you make sure that the bypass button up at the top is pushed. You have XLR in, XLR out. Pull that out to let you see it. And all the controls can be used by this. You pretty much just push it in to activate which one of the 3 you want. You move it, you push it in to get whatever you need to use. And if you ever forget, the key is written over here. The cluster size is going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it depends on how many modules or how many HDL 50s you have in the array. The C, the M, the F, and the H is going to be close, medium, far, and high distance. And if you're using RDNet, you have a lot more controls as well. But rigging is really simple, very easy suspension for these. So next thing we'll show you is how to use the Flybar. So first thing we're going to show you on our suspension bars here is we have 4 of them stacked. Is going to be our point. So we're going to be showing you how to do a single point. If you do a double point, you would just have 2 of these, and you could do a individual motor for each side. So we're going to pin these into 11 and 12, and you even have options of A and B on which way you want to turn it, and that will give you really fine adjustment on the angle. So we're going to pin it into 11 and 12, and this is going to be if we're doing suspension. So the next thing on the bar that you can notice is you have this little guy, and this is if you're ever doing a ground stack. You can use this to get in the back of the cabinet. That way you can do ground support with it. And most of the time we just have to fly them. And you also have locking and suspension for this as well. And this is going to be for the back of the cabinet on the piece that looks similar to this. And one side will be for suspension, the other side is for locking to keep it from going the other way. So we're about to put a span set on this and just kind of show you how to do it. First thing you want to do is take this pin out, and it's going to allow that piece of metal to fall, and then you'll lock the pin back in to keep us from being able to move. We'll go over, do it on the other side. And then we're going to end up lifting up this, and we're going to get a stack behind and underneath it to where we can attach it. And we're going to end up attaching to these, and then on the back the Flybar will suspend up into these 2 right here. So we're going to go ahead and set the angles on this first stack of cabinets. And we're going to say that you've already done a room design and got the angles that you wanted. We wanted this first cabinet to be pretty small angles, so we'll just do 1.4. We'll end up doing the next one a little bit more. We're going to get a 7, then we're going to do a 10, and then on this one, once we lift it up, we're going to do 10 if we're going to do any more under it. So we're not going to do anything to the other side yet. That's only going to be after we lift it up and get it into that position. Using a forklift in this example because it's the easiest thing to get to, but motors, chain hoist, whatever you're using, you'll end up lowering it down at kind of a slow rate. And we're going to end up pinning the front first. We'll just come down to a slow controlled rate. And then we'll see, do I need to come down any more for you, Josh? Can you get it?
I'm fine.
So once one side is pinned in, you can use a pendulum to get the other side to pin in a little bit easier. So now I'm going to come down a little more for Nick.
I hope.
And then we're going to keep coming down to get the back. And you have a suspension and locking. The first one that we're going to put in is going to be the suspension. Can you tell me when?
Yeah, keep coming. A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. And boom, that's it. No, mine first. My finger got stuck. Okay.
And then all the locking is going to do is basically going to sit on it. That way, if you try to raise, this can't raise up anymore.
So now we're going to raise the HDL 50s up. We got the Flybar connected here. So what the next part's going to be is, as he's raising up, we've got our suspension pin pinned into a certain degree here. And in case when you're on this side, you don't have to look on the other side. You can see that this matches up down here with 1.4. So as he raises up and the weight and the angle is met, I will pin in where it says C 1.4 here, and that will lock in that degree. So he's going to go ahead and raise up here. We have to make sure that we do it when the degree is met. Now it is. I'm going to pin in there. He's going to keep coming up. I'm going to unpin. So he right now is in 4, so I'm going to pin in 4. And let's see, he is in 4. Nope, he is in 7, so I'm going to meet him in 7, right? There. And now he's going to raise up. And as you can see, all of our degrees have been met. We're off the ground completely here. There we go.
So the bottom of the cart always pins in 1.4, and we're going to raise up just a little bit at the bottom and unpin that and let it kind of go to the ground. We'll repin that back into any angle or loose pin. We'll go to the front, and you pulled up on the back of the bar and should be able to open that easily, let it fall to the ground. And then we're going to roll that cart out from under it. And then we'll show you guys the cart here. So on the cart, it has a great design to where you can actually put forks for a forklift through it to help raise these up and put them in trucks. And then you also have these parts to where you can stack casters of multiple carts to where it doesn't take up hardly any space at all. So really well designed, well thought out. In case you forget, it tells you 1.4 is the suspension hole, and gives you some warnings not to push them the way that it looks like they would tip over, which should be common sense, but you'd be amazed. But carts are well thought out. The casters are heavy duty. There's locks on them, so it ends up helping out to where you can just put these stationary in one place and lock them and not have to worry about them rolling off. But so we have them suspended. You can see that we have the angle that we had tried to work on. The good thing is, now that you have the suspension, which is the other side of the pins, you cannot lift this back up, which you don't think would be a big deal. But if you get enough of a curve on these, then you don't have the locking pins in, it will not keep its shape, and it'll actually start to curve back, which is not good at all. So really easy rigging, easier than any other line array we've ever used. Really happy with these, and they sound impressive. We're going to attach some videos of live use of them. We have found out whenever you're attaching the next cart that it is a lot easier, instead of just stacking and putting directly under it, if you let the next cart have a little bit of a tilt of an angle, and then as you attach the first two, so we would go ahead and attach this one and the one on the other side, And after it's attached, you would lift up on your hoist or whatever you're using, your chain motor, and you would let it tilt out just a little bit. That way it's a little bit easier for you to attach the next back of the cabinets. So that's about it, but very easy. Under the reverse, we pulled all the pins out of the side over here and we put them in the loose pin holders. And now that way when you let it down, it's going to go back to the shape that they need to be for the covers to fit. And that's it. So now they're in their shape to where we can put the covers back on.